are back. We are back for our second recording, our second presentation of this program, this podcast. Thank you for being with us and following ABJ Community Services. When I tell you that there's an organization on the south side of Chicago that's committed to doing what is right, with that which is just, standing up and standing in the gap for our children, standing in the gap for our families, dedicated to calling the black family together for the greater good. When I tell you that there's an organization like that, I tell you that's what ABJ is all about. I am Pastor Victoria Brady, and I am the second generation president CEO of ABJ Community Services, also known as Annie B. Jones Community Services. And some of you already know the story. You know by now that ABJ was founded by my precious and wonderful mother, Dr. Vivian R. Jones, founder and now president emeritus of ABJ. And you also may know that it's named in memory of my grandmother, Annie Bell Jones. And what a precious memory that I have of my grandmother. And so I just want to welcome you back. And I am so excited that I have two shown up black queens in the community. You've already, some of you may remember her from the anniversary last week. We have Mama Yvonne Pugh, yes, and we have Dr.Gale Frazier. And you're going to meet both of these queens, sisters, in just a few minutes. All three of us are actually from Big Mama Movement Chicago. Yes. Big Mama Movement Chicago. Yes. BMMC, Big Mama in the house. Well, we have some challenges ahead of us. And as I kind of start this presentation today, I think about the fact that we have yet again taken another hit in our community. We've taken another hit. We had the 13-year-old boy who was killed by Chicago police, and then we turn around a couple of days later, a week or so later, and we know that we just lost a precious 7-year-old girl, Jaslyn, 7 years old, should be playing with her beautiful black Barbie dolls and jumping rope and what all the things that our babies do, and yet, her life has been senselessly taken as she and her dad was at the McDonald's drive-thru on Chicago's west side. And so we know that we have some challenges ahead of us, but we also want you to know, and I'm saying this to the young people, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to try to remember to say this every week. Parents, go get your children so they can hear this statement. If you're already listening, please listen closely. You have got to know. It is very important for you to know, my young people, that there are people like Mama Yvonne and Dr. Gale and Pastor Victoria and all of the Big Mama Movement Chicago members and many, many other leaders and faith leaders and people that from your community that's not going to give up on you. No. We are not ever going to give up. And we're not going to ever give up hope. And we're not going to lose hope. No. And we don't want you to lose hope. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things. It's a complex problem. And it really shouldn't be a problem, a challenge like this, where we're losing our young people. But we want you to know that we're standing on the wall. Yes, we are. We are standing on the wall. And we're going to keep working at this thing. Absolutely. Until we secure you, until we secure the black family, yes, the black and brown families in particular. We won't give up and we won't give in. And as my mom always said, you don't give up, don't give in, and don't give out. So I just want to just let you know that I have to talk to you, because I remember being on the streets when 2 young men were murdered and seeing the look in the young people's eyes. I saw the dimness and just the emptiness, and it was horrifying to me. And it said to me that our people feel like they're losing hope, and we cannot afford to do that. Because we are not a hopeless people. No, we're not. We are not a hopeless people. We are not without hope. No. We have the great hope. And so I want you to know that, again, follow us, keep up with us, reach out to us. Reach out to ABJ Community Services at www.abjchicago.org. You may find that you like the arts and you want to get involved. You like feeling empowered and like feeling again, that strong sense of hope and belonging. Well, that's what we do here at ABJ. We create the safe space for people to have that sense of belonging and a sense of hope. Now, as I have said, we're an arts organization, and so I would be honored to open up this program with a reading from a play that I was in years and years ago called The Great Nitty Gritty.
I remember you were talking about that.
Yes,
I remember that.
And it's written by none other than Oscar Brown Jr. And this is a short excerpt from The Great Nitty Gritty.
Okay.
And it's from the closing speech that the character Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, founder of Chicago, black founder of
That's
Chicago. It's from the character that did this at the end of the show. And it's relevant to today's topic as we now not only try to awaken the sheep, as I got a text, I think you saw it as well, we want to wake up the lions.
Yeah,
Time to wake up the lions.
Right.
So this is Grace of God by one of my mentors, Oscar Brown Jr., and his daughter Maggie graciously sent this to me, and so I feel comfortable sharing it. In the sluggish sleep of slaves, from your cradles to your graves, you live unaware of your great power and where it's gotten from. But the minute you awake, this whole planet Earth will shake with your rhythmic cosmic drum. Everything in all creation has its own distinct vibration that keeps moving to a universal measure we call time. As these movements then repeat, it's their time to which they beat, for time is the force sublime. Any life that ever lived came in time wrapped as a gift, to be either used well or else allowed to go to waste. None knows how long time will last, but we all know that once it's passed, time can never be replaced. Any present time provides time itself also divides into regulated segments, seconds, minutes, hours, days, into weeks, months, seasons, years, to which every age appears, each in its divided space. So as nature runs its course, time has been its moving force. And although some time may seem to lag, while other time has leapt, as it moved along its way, no time has been made to stay, just its rhythm has been kept. Now rhythm seems to last like a shadow time has cast, like the visible remains of some invisible event. The more any rhythm swings, the more energy it brings, the more power it represents. Of course, the people who can call on rhythm best of all are you relatives of Africa, where human life began. No one else of any race has the necessary grace to keep time the way you can. Time that you translate to dance, into music to entrance, and engage the human spirit into activity so fine that you shouldn't find it odd if it's called the grace of God, for indeed it is divine. To take time and make it swing is so valuable a thing. It cannot be bought nor sold for any specified amount. Call it destiny or fate, it's your gift at any rate, which you suffer to discount. You hear the old echo of a time you won't let go, when black bodies, minds, and souls were being held by whips and chains. But the chains have gone to rust, and the whips have turned to dust. Just their memory remains. Like a nightmare you might dream, with a foul recurring theme that vanishes into nothing once you awaken from your sleep. Then as you enjoy your gift, every heart will get a lift from the moving time you keep. You whom God has graced to swing must lift every voice and sing, sending images to satellites from which they will rebound, to paint entertaining scenes upon television screens for all people world around. With the grace of God you've got, you need never fire a shot to create a mighty force too powerful to be withheld. It's your legacy at birth, to be used for all its worth and provide for your own good. So again, with the grace of God you got, you need never fire a shot to create a mighty force too powerful to be withstood, because it's your legacy at birth.
All right. Yay. Woo. Get on down.
Yeah, and that's that's just a segment of it, and it's so powerful. This piece is, I mean, it resonated with me as a cast member. I was in the original Great Nitty Gritty, and oh my goodness, Ben Sexton was the actor that plays Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, and you talking about a powerful piece, and yeah, it was actually the Great Nitty Gritty that helped me to know the power of the arts, like the real power.
Yes,
not just the power to get on a stage and entertain, but the power to change and transform.
Wow.
And so I thought that would be yes. And as soon as you awake, this whole planet Earth will shake with your liberating drum.
That's awesome.
Can't nobody do it like we can.
That's right.
So that's why I want our young people to know that there's
hope.
There's because we're still yet
There's
here.
always hope. That's right.
And I think about when I was in the Great Nitty Gritty, I would hear the stories of Oscar. It might have been another play because I was in a couple of plays with Oscar. And he would talk about the time that years and years and years ago that he called the Black Stones and the Disciples together. And he did a play. He did a play and put them all on the stage together. There was the Stones and the Rangers.
I'm sure they enjoyed that.
They had a truce. And so I know that the arts is
very important.
It's a powerful force. And you know the thing about the arts is that it'll take us where life refuses to go.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Arts will take us and transform us where we refuse to go. We just recently wrote a song called Peace Didn't Stop, We Did. It's not peace that stopped, we stopped.
And that's something.
So I thought that would be a great piece for us to use. You got rapper Willie Lynch.
I love that.
Yeah, and we got all of these tools and things that can help us to pull our people through these situations. And Dr. Gale, I'd like to talk to you a little bit after I just tell a little bit about what ABJ is up to. I'd like to have you talk about the National Black Agenda and public safety and how we view public safety. Our perspective on public safety. So right before that, I just want to share with you that ABJ we've got a few things coming up. We have our ABJ Civic Arts Circle training, and we're going to be doing another 18-week training for young people, teaching them entrepreneurial skills, teaching them just humanness and how to be human and have human dignity, inner healing. As well as grit, and I talk about that grit a lot because I find that our young people, they have no shortage of ideas and dreams. However, they get a little stuck when it comes to implementing and expediting. And so this training is meant to help unstick them, if I may just say. We want them unstuck. So we're doing the training. It'll start again in mid-May, and actually they get to do a group project.
Wonderful.
They get to do a project of importance to them. And the group that we just graduated, they actually did a GoFundMe. Well, they actually supported the GoFundMe of a little girl they called COVID at the age of 8 years old. Her name is Serenity. And then another group, they did a health and wellness event. Yeah, they did some massages and things like that for the community. And the other group did a vision board event where they came together and they did their own vision boards and talked about how they envision their future. These are the hidden jewels of our community. You know, there are people that only want to talk about and perpetuate that we just have negative things going on and we just shoot one another. And we have far more important and critically, I would say amazing things that we do beyond those things, and those stories rarely get to be told. And so I'm also writing a play called The Rise of the Afro-Descendant Nation. And so if you're interested in being in this beautiful upcoming production, we're looking for actors and dancers and singers and poets. And trust me, ABJ will put you on the stage. We will get you ready. If you feel like, oh, I can't sing, I can't dance, well, you may have a hidden talent. You don't know how many young people said, I didn't know I could do that.
That's true.
And they find out those gifts. We take them and we dig them out and dust them off and put them to good use. So we'll be doing that on Juneteenth.
Excellent.
And it's really and it's really designed to call the family together in unity. We have so many people working on reparations and those that are working on nation building, and other forms of self-determination. Well, the rise of the Afro-descendant nation, we will become that great nation, and we'll do it by working together and coming together.
And that's the key.
So, so that's happening on Juneteenth, and then we also have our classical showcase. That's coming up. That's being produced by Deborah Ross, who is our Director of Arts and Education. She's been doing the art series the classical series for a few years now. And this one will be all men. The one for June 2021.
That's going to be wonderful.
It will be all men, so that's going to be nice because we just did all women in March.
It's beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful.
And our young people, they are still doing their after school matters programming. That's our teenagers, and so we're doing some empowerment events. We got a succession planning event coming up.
So you can see
disaster
ABJ
planning.
has a whole bunch of stuff.
We got a whole menu of things coming up, and I just want to put it out there so that you can begin to tap in, because I think that one of the things I found right before I get to you, Dr. Gale, is that I've talked to people and been in a lot of different meetings, and I believe that our community truly wants to step up to the plate. But some people don't know what to do.
Right.
Some people don't even know the first step. So that's why I'm taking the time to really highlight what people can do, because there's always at least that one thing that people can do to get involved. And speaking of getting involved now, Big Mama.
See,
one of my showing up big mamas in the house. I would like for you to really just take a moment to introduce yourself, tell us a few things about you, and then I want to talk a little bit about this public safety piece and peace building. Let's go. Let's go.
Pastor Victoria has already introduced me. My name is Dr.Gale Frazier, and I'm the chairperson for the National Black Agenda Consortium. I do many things, as you know, in the community. We have to wear many hats. Everybody knows we have to wear many hats, but being in the background of civil engineering, that's what, my undergraduate, I worked a number of years in construction and engineering. Now working as an educator, and of course I have my own business. I am a minister. So it's a lot of things, wife, mother, author, so it's many things that, we do because it's necessary. And so being here with these beautiful young ladies here as we go forth and do the work as big mamas, it is necessary for us to be together in this time. So as far as what you were saying, as far as the National Black Agenda, I am the chairperson for the National Black Agenda Consortium, and we have a black agenda. Okay, and that's why we want to put this out, because everybody says we don't have a black agenda, but we have a black agenda. As a matter of fact, the actual website, if anyone wants to go to it, is nbacchicago.org. NBAC Chicago.org.
Yes.
And if you go there, you will see approximately 92 pages of things that black folks can do to help themselves. And I'm piggybacking off of what you said about people don't know what to do. Many times people don't know what to do, and so because they don't know what to do, they don't do anything. But in the NBAC, the black agenda, we have down there what the community can do, what the individual can do, and then of course public policies that can be done by the legislators and everything. So we are encouraging people to go there, and as Pastor Victoria and of course Miss Yvonne, they, all of us working with young people, we want to be a part of your lives as far as helping you. And we know that there are others that, more than young people just looking at this, but we are working together as a family. So as you spoke about the public safety, we have a component in there. But before we get to the public safety part, we have the education component, we have the economics component, we have the components that's pertaining to employment and housing and faith-based initiatives. We have so many various components within the black agenda that it's no excuse for us to sit by idly and not do something. I'm thinking about what our dear brother Malcolm X said: if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Amen.
And so the thing is within the black agenda, we do have a component in there that talks about public safety.
Yes.
And of course, we know that public safety concerns everybody, but one of the things that I would like to say is that everybody's involved with public safety. Everybody has to be engaged with public safety. And one of the things that I would say, you were talking about humanness, I'm saying a return to civility. That we learn how to behave as human beings. And we have gotten to the extreme as far as doing all different types of things, all of the drive-by shootings and this and that. And of course we know all of that is symptomatic of so many other things. But the reality is that it's no excuse to be inhumane.
That's right.
It's no excuse. You know,
Right.
I think about, our foreparents, and I think about, my mother was a sharecropper, and she came up in poverty and lack and all that kind of stuff. But their generation didn't carry on like this.
Yeah.
Their generation, of course, operated in much respect for one another and all of that. But now it's a turn. And, of course, certainly would not blame, say, oh, the young people are responsible for this. But the young people do have their part to play in this, along with the adults and everybody. So in the public safety component, we talk about civility. We talk about unity.
Yes.
We talk about also the policing that is necessary to have community-based policing. Community policing, that's one of the things that we had talked about for a number of years, about having community policing. And of course, some people, we get pushback on that, but it does need to be community policing. People have to be accountable for what they do.
Yes.
And so, I'm not one, and I won't say that I'm one that's just against the police, because we know that we need police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers can be a blessing. And of course, you have the ones who are not a blessing. But the thing is in the public safety component, we have the civilian policing as well. And within the civilian policing, that's when the people within the community police themselves.
Yes.
Which brings us
Yes.
to our men in black, the original men in black.
Yes,
that
yes,
they come
yes.
here, and they, of course, they police the community.
Yes, they
Now,
do.
they're not going around with weapons out there planning to shoot, but they're engaging people.
That's right.
This is what we have to do. We have to be responsible for our own policing.
That's
We
right.
have to be responsible for that. And then another thing I wanted to say is that we also have on the table legislation to be passed that came down, and it's considered violence as a health crisis. And so that is waiting on the governor's desk for him to sign it. Now, of course, again, we know that public safety is a concern that everybody has.
Right.
And so as a result of us being concerned about this, my question would be, what part are you willing to play to ensure your own safety? Because if we're unwilling, we know things are going on within our communities, but we're not saying anything about it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to the police and talk about it. But right now, we have a group of big mamas here. We got some big daddies that's up in the communities that's willing to do their parts as well. But we need to understand how critical it is for us as a people to be concerned about one another enough to know that it's not. I would have to quote Pastor Anthony Williams. He said, "Violence ain't cool."
No.
That's his slogan he uses.
Right,
He said, "Violence ain't cool."
No.
And we have to get to the point where we understand shooting, drive-by shootings, going up, killing folks just because somebody looked at you another way, that impacts everybody else.
It does.
Now, of course, we do know many of our communities are traumatized,
Yes.
and we need help. But I'm never going to be one to say that it's legitimate to go around killing people. And we just talked about the little girl, 7 years old, and then the little boy, the 13-year-old.
And the 4-year-old.
And the 4-year-old, and all of this, and then the mothers is being killed, and pregnant mothers being killed. And so that's insanity. As a matter of fact, that's worse than being animalistic, because animals act on instinct. Okay? People have the ability to make wise decisions. So under the public safety piece, there's so many different components there.
Yes, there
because
are.
we also talk about mass incarceration. We also talk about different things, the pathways to citizenship, that, if somebody is incarcerated, that they, when they get out, if they follow certain patterns and everything like that, that they should have the right to be reinstated and restored back to full society. So it's so many things. I won't take up all the time about that, but I will encourage everyone to go to the inbackchicago.org
Yes.
and to look at it, because it is a very important part, and we have to return to civility. That's one thing that I would say pertaining to that.
That is so true, and oh wow, what an amazing overview. And yes, there is a black agenda. In fact, I just thought about it. I had an opportunity to contribute.
You
this
certainly
go
did.
around
You certainly
in
did.
the faith community section, and I really do appreciate that.
Yes, most definitely.
So
I want to say something
Sure.
about that agenda. I met you ladies, and actually Dr. Frazier was already a hero of mine before I met her.
Oh, wow.
I
Miss
met a
Yvonne.
group of you when I was looking for
Bless you.
some people to help hold a city, a local, national conference to write a national agenda.
Wow.
Because in my going out to Las Vegas to help a friend and in other locations, I noticed that our problems are being presented for our community as the same. And when I saw the
Yes,
young
they
man coming behind the Home Depot with his pants below the rounded part of his anatomy, I was, I just come from Chicago. My goodness, these problems are the same. But anyway, the national agenda was to help us see what we were supposed to do, make a plan for our progress, and
exactly
come through. So
that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
We and it's like the thing about the National Black Agenda is that everybody it's a living document, which means other people can contribute to it. Now, I'll be the first to say that whatever you contribute, it's going to have to be something, of course, that's substantial. I mean, it can't just be some stuff that people think of and put in there. It does have to be, because it is research based, but of course it's a community based document as well as subject matter experts. So again, I appreciate you, Pastor Victoria, for asking me to come on, and of course Ms. Yvonne, for the great work that you all have done to be a blessing to the community and everything like that. And so, thank you again very much.
Well, thank both of you, and so I'll go back to what Oscar said in this script. As soon as you awake, but the minute you awake,
that's right,
this whole planet Earth will shake to your rhythmic
Absolutely.
cosmic drum.
Absolutely.
That is so powerful.
It's the truth.
What we're pointing you to know
Absolutely.
is that you have power beyond what you can
Absolutely.
even think.
Absolutely.
You have so much power.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it so interesting that we have no shortage of guns in our community.
No shortage.
We don't manufacture them.
Don't make any.
We really don't even sell them.
Don't sell them.
Not legally. Not legally. We don't even have a gun shop. But we are inundated with guns.
Yes,
and you have to just wonder,
true.
what is that all about?
Mm-hmm.
You think about
Absolutely.
when a life is taken, that's a precious life, and that's someone's family member. It's also resources and gifts. The
Absolutely.
person,
That's so
gifts
true.
being taken
away
from our future and what we can have for ourselves.
That's true.
And so Big Mama Movement Chicago, one of our call outs is to call the family to unity.
That's what we do.
To call the family, to secure the
Right.
family, to bring the family back together.
That's right.
Because we are, as you said, this uncivilized way of behaving, that is not even our natural
it's
instinct.
not. It's not.
That is not the grace
No,
of
it's
God
not.
that has been placed.
Absolutely
our
not.
spiritual DNA.
Absolutely.
Our
Absolutely.
spiritual DNA.
And if I
It's
can
nothing like
just say
that.
something to your
Yes.
point right there, and that's why I said what I said, is about it's no excuse.
That's right.
It's no excuse. I mean, we've gone through abject poverty throughout the years, through slavery, through Jim Crow, through all of this, and even now, it is inexcusable to be killing your own people.
Yes, it is.
And so that means we have a very serious problem, because many people hate themselves and they don't know who they are. And so we have to start hitting with the root causes of what these things are.
Absolutely.
And so going around killing up babies and everything, that's never acceptable. Never acceptable.
Never.
I mean, there used to be a code of ethics even among folks who did stuff like
Sure
that.
did.
And now you see, we're at this point now, it's like all bets are off and folks killing up people. And that's unacceptable.
It
and like
is.
you say, Big Mama is not in agreement with that at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So we want you to know this show, this program is about us.
Yes, it is.
The art of unity
Absolutely.
is about the black community.
Absolutely.
Us doing what we know we must do.
We must do.
We have to do it. And somewhere in this, our young men and young women, or even older, whoever
Yes,
it is
yes.
that's wreaking havoc on our community, silent assassins. We don't
Yeah.
really know who's doing all this
Absolutely.
shooting. Because we're told that some of these shots are so clean and so precise that you have to wonder who's really doing the
Absolutely.
shooting.
You're telling the truth there.
So we have they say sometimes you can be duped. People sometimes agitate a situation,
Of course.
instigate a
Of course,
situation,
of course.
start a war,
Of course.
and then they step back and
Of
let
course.
the people do the rest of the work.
Absolutely.
We see it all the
Absolutely.
time. But as soon as you awake, But as soon as you awake, Jacob, as soon as you awake, this whole planet Earth, I didn't say just Chicago, the whole planet Earth will shake to your liberating drum. And that's what we're all about with Big Mama. We're about liberating ourselves. We're about the higher call of life. We're about doing the arts and the things that's in us. You know what I'm saying? We're not into all this this old savagery that we're seeing. And when we think about the Chicago police, their call is to
serve and protect.
Serve and protect.
That's what they say.
But also to keep the peace. To keep the peace. Well, where is the peace? Where's the peace? So I'm not suggesting that we can solve this right here today.
No, of course
but
not.
what I am saying to you is that, as we've said, and we'll get to
everybody has their part to play, though.
Everybody
has their part,
and we are accountable too.
That's right.
Self-accountability.
That's it.
And so we're reclaiming the love in our own village. And do you want in? Do you want in on being able to see your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren go outside like normal children, like normal times, I should say, where they can get out and play and enjoy themselves? If you want in, reach out to us at www.abjchicago.org. Again, www.abjchicago.org and or BigMamaMovementChicago.org. And that's www.bigmamamovementchicago.org. We're not fussing, you all, but we just want you to know.
We're frustrated over this. That's for
we
sure.
are women. We are queens.
Yes.
We are women. And women, we have a certain role that we play in the community, and we have a certain capacity. And what we want to do is embrace. We want to embrace you. We want to embrace our family. Yeah. But Miss Yvonne, we're going to wrap it up. But I told you last week, nobody can talk about uniting the black family and the block like you. So what's your message to us today, right before you get ready to go and give us the Willie Lynch, rapping Willie Lynch?
Well, I'm glad you think I'm good at talking about community or unity, because community is my whole thing. After teaching for a long time, I see how everything in the community affects what the children are, what they think they are going to be.
That is so true.
So
that is. It's so true.
And I just regret the fact that we no longer seem to have standards that we live by, and that violence is. What do you say? Violence ain't cool.
That's right.
Violence
ain't cool.
We have at this point become so mean and vicious and ill-behaved toward each other. And that was part of an orchestrated plan to keep us divided and keep us disconnected. So until we learn to recognize ourselves as a block, like all the other cultures recognize themselves as a block and get the benefits for it and so forth, until we start acting like we love ourselves. We can't, that can't happen. And the poem you read was so interesting to me because it's about history, our past and our present and our future. And what our behavior has to be for us to have the future that we're supposed to have. So that's why in my observations, I concluded a lot of things from our behavior, and from that old slave master Willie Lynch, whether he was real or not, the symptoms
people say it's not authentic, but we know.
So I just want to remind us that we need to cut it out. We need to if you don't know what to do, which is why, again, I was so happy about the agenda, because it gave our whole community
something to do,
what to say and what to do and what to think, because people are hesitant about it. They don't know what to ask for or propose. But the National Black Agenda Consortium Chicago was like the gold standard. And I'm very happy to find all those other agendas, and along with the Big Mamas, I want to call those authors together and say, listen, let's put our agendas together.
That's it.
So we can speak in a unified voice.
Absolutely.
So that our block can be identified and no longer blamed and punished for being a block, but get the benefits
That's
that
it.
all cultures should
Well
have as a
said.
block.
Well,
Just before we wrap it up, tell us a little bit about what is the block for those that may not know what a block is, because they may think that we're talking about the physical block you live on. But talk just a little bit about the block, if you don't mind.
Well, the dictionary definition says it's just a group of people or organizations or nations that form into a unit for a common purpose.
Formed into a unit for a common purpose.
Mhm.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
we see all the other cultures, their block is recognized. They
Yes.
recognize themselves as a block.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard a comment with the Asians speaking to the trouble that had happened over this past year. They said when it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us.
That's the way it's supposed to be,
That's
right?
right. That's the
That's
way
the way
it's
it's supposed to be.
That's how it was for us.
Yeah, I know.
Until other
All
irritants came
outside
in.
influences.
That's right.
Yes.
From a
But we
plan.
want you to know we're reclaiming.
Yes, we are.
Reclaiming
Absolutely.
all of our God-given
That's right.
benefits.
You better believe it.
And that is one of them. God has called us as a special
That's
people.
right.
Nobody on the planet like us.
Nobody.
Nowhere to
Nobody.
be found.
Nowhere.
So we know that, yes, Miss Yvonne, you are so right about
You
that.
are.
And I love uniting for a common purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, because they divided us in so many different ways. You know, the field people and the house people.
Yes. Slice them
You
up.
know,
Slice it this way.
and all
Slice and
all the
dice.
parts that come with that. So
Yes, yes,
we
yes.
have to reunite,
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
do.
and that's what I'm so happy that the big mamas have called the family together to say we must do this.
That's
right.
absolutely what we're about.
Help everybody.
And know this, family. Look for the Big Mama Movement Chicago Family Reunion.
All right
And
now.
you'll learn more about that. But we are serious. We ourselves are gonna do what we know is right to do.
Absolutely.
The things
For
that
real.
Big Mama taught us to do.
True.
And showed us how to do it.
You know it.
We're doing those same things. So thank you so much for tuning in. We certainly want to hear from Miss Yvonne in her
Yeah.
own way.
Willie Lynch said a year was all it really took to make a slave for all times. Or maybe 300 years, but really any time to be a slave is just a crime. And after 300 years, you know that time is up. And since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. What's the plan about? Come on, jump up and shout, 'cause you know we can be loud. We need a plan about everything so we can make our nation proud. Money, finance, relationships, love, knowledge, education, a plan or a covenant, boosting our labor, our talent, our style, so we can put old Lynch's 1-year plan on trial. Boosting our media 1,000 times more so the info gets across from every shore to shore. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. Get the kids off the street. Give them some history. Show the parents the way to be what they can be. Make a plan for our money. Pool some of it so that we create jobs instead of taking. And when the president says, what must we do for you? We say, here are the plans. We'll help you see them through. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. So, you got the idea on what it takes to be free? We need a plan to respect from me to you to me. Because the world copies everything we say and do, but no respect comes to me till it comes from you, brothers and sisters. And all parts of the plan don't have to take 2 years, but we need to get started because we're way in arrears. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan. so we all can be free. Here in Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land. And Freedom Land, our agenda.
Yeah, tune in now. This presentation will be every Thursday. Every Thursday, so begin to follow us on social media. And Our Black Truth is a Black-owned social media platform, owned by us.
That's right.
And so you'll hear more about that as well. But we have everything that we need.
Everything we need.
Everything we need is in place.
That's right.
And as soon as we awake,
that's right,
this whole planet Earth will shake to our liberating drums. And we will liberate ourselves. Thank you so much. I'm Pastor Victoria C. Brady. Thank you, my big mamas. I love you, love you. And tune in again next week. We'll see you with the Art of Unity. Thank you.